Hello, fans, or WoW players, whatever term you throw at yourself. Greetings, and welcome to the developer update number 4 for the iStableMaster add-on for the World of Warcraft retail. Now, first off, there won't be a lot for you to see of changes, so to speak. This was a massive update, and most of the update stuff is done back end or in places where I've restructured some code that you will never notice, other than the fact that it might run a little smoother and a little more optimal. There will be another one that is even bigger in terms of refactoring the code into the next bit, and that's also why some of the issues that I'm gonna talk about today is gonna be present. They're not huge issues, they're more like graphical stuff, and that's just because I can't be bothered with fixing it several times. So I'm just gonna do the rework, and as I do the rework, fix the problem. That being said, I've also done some of these things for some of the stuff that we've got for you today. So, first of all
goods and services.
The things we can see is that we have changed a few things. First of all, as you will notice, there is in the compact mode one of those things I spoke of, where we've changed some things and then we're not going to change the rest of it because I've decided to not continue with this until after I do the rework, because these things are currently set with Lua code and we should be using something called XML templates for this, etc, etc. And therefore the highlight will look weird on these, and it's going to be a little bit of a downgrade, but it's going to be temporary for the look of things. The other things that will be immediate for you, regardless of whether you have the compact mode or the default mode activated, is the fact that in the scroll frame list there are two changes. Number one, gone are the filter and sort drop down menus, because they were absolutely horrific to try to fix back end. And also, as you probably know, in terms of drop downs, you can end up with a problem called tunneling, which is basically a result of something called Fitz law, where you are starting to play operation with your drop downs that has drop downs, and when that doesn't work for you, you end up in the wrong menu, and it just is a quality of life thing, really. And that's why you see circular menus in for example, Grand Theft Auto, where you can choose weapons, etc., in a circular manner, where you can go up, down, left, right, etc. Because that is first of all better for a controller to do, but it's also on PC a much better workflow for, or like interface flow for somebody who is using a mouse who has many options. Now, we're not doing something like that. Instead, we did this. More on that in a moment, because the other thing you will see, the other major change in this scroll frame here, is the fact that we've now added labels, and that is just the two immediate things that there is. Now, okay, let's go back to this. We now have this, and that works regardless of whether you have the default mode or the compact mode. If the compact mode will just readjust the frame size a little bit here when we have the filters open. So keep that in mind. Also, don't scale your UI too much, because that might actually cause problems for the use of the add-on. If your screen cannot handle that big of a user interface, then other things. But that's nothing new. Actually, what I want to talk about here is the new filters and sorts. Now, these are scroll frames with collapsible regions. So we can expand families here, and then we can start, and we can scroll it, and we can go through all of our pets like this. So in the future, we'll be able to search for it, but as you can see on the chat down here, it is not yet implemented. The same goes for the sort one. We will get around to that, and it will essentially, if you, let's say, write a beetle. Now let's go water strider instead, because that is a better example. Oops, what the hell just happened? excuse me, sorry for the language, strider like that, and if you hit enter, then essentially what I want the behavior to be here is that it will scroll down to water strider when it finds a match and highlights it, and basically scroll down to this and highlight it. That's the idea. And besides that, that's what I want to implement in the long run. But besides that, you can now turn these filters on and off, and you can also turn them all on and off at the same time without that functionality being bugged as it was in the drop-down menus. So maybe the drop-downs will get a comeback in some sort of a preference option in the settings, but until I fix their behavior, they won't come back. But this is a much better system, and you get a little icon here that can, if you maybe not strong in reading, or maybe English is not your first language, then and you have maybe a German version of the game, but an English version of the add-on, then this will help you to sort of get an idea of what the English words are, and you will still be able to use it. Besides that, we now also have these sorting options. The same as before. Functionality doesn't really change here. The difference here is, generally speaking, that now you can see what kind of sort you have active in each category from just the collapsible buttons. In the drop down, you would have to go and check the drop down basically. And as you can see, we've updated the graphics for these also to fit the new stuff. And that's basically it. You'll see these are the active sorts in each category, shown in green here. And we might make more iteration to this in the future. We'll see. If you want to turn off the filters on and off, you click the this button up here. Let's go with this so you can see it actually does stuff. And that's about it. Now, on to some of the last changes we did for the interface, so to speak, is the fact that we now have fixed the tooltips. So the tooltips now no longer have the problem where a pet disappears, or like a pet's abilities disappears, or are incorrectly labeled. That has all been fixed, and we also added expansion to the tooltip. So now when you sort by expansion, as we've done here, you can now see that expansion is the newest one at the top and classic at the bottom. And those will of course work for individual groups. That being said, there is one last thing that we did. That one last thing is with the backend of the way we handle settings. More specifically, we are now capable of registering our settings a little more dynamically, and this will mean that we are starting to slowly roll out more options for you to customize your interface as we get the templates structure correct, etc., etc. Then I will start adding these. Gone are all of the ugly stuff at the top, which was basically just some testing of the frame in the first place, and in comes the dynamic types of these frames of different kinds of options that we're gonna make, and they will just be added at the bottom of these things. And I intend just to probably just in the first bit to make a scroll frame, or it's not done in the backend side of things or the way we handle these things, but these will be a lot more clean to work with now, and there will be more options shortly, I think. Now, we didn't really do much to anything else, not even for the default mode here. It is what it is. We still did add some tooltips. I'm not sure if this was 39A or 40 0.39a or 0.40a, but they are here now, and that there's no changes to the B squats. That's the same as 39. Or 39 are 4, 3. I don't know how many we went to. 39 are 1. So, yeah. Those are the updates we got for you this time, and I hope that you will spend some time with the issues that you do find, and then leave us a comment or an issue that we can deal with. Remember to tag them at a bug so we can see them clearly when we search for bugs. Also, when you report bugs, I love to get these dumps of errors out, because that gives me some line of the code where I can start out. If you don't know how to get Lua errors shown, it's actually very, very simple. I'm gonna leave you a command in the description below, and in that description you will be able to, or this command, you will be able to put that inside a macro as I've done. Just this one here, and this one will allow you to basically show us, or basically get shown what errors that there might be. I'm gonna leave this in the description below, otherwise it is here on the screen. And other than that, there is only a few things I need to talk to you about. If you have old add-ons installed of the same iStableMaster that are older than 39, or 0.39, that is, then you must be aware that there can be irreparable database files. And the way you deal with that is either through the Curse Launch client, removing the add-on completely first with the clean out the WTF stuff for the add-ons, and then add the add-on again afterwards. Or you can go manually to the folder which is located in retail, WTF. I'm gonna write it here on the text, underscore retail. It's in the installation folder, right? WTF. Oops, we don't like that like this. WTF. Then account. It might be a number here, or I think it's just a number. Hang on, let me just double check if it is a number or not. I'll quickly know by just taking a look at a response I made to an issue. Or not, because the issue is somehow gone. Anyway, you go to the account, and then in the account there is both saved variables, and there's also a version where instead of saved variables there is a realm that you choose. So you choose the realm, and within your realm you can choose your character's name for your hunter. And within those two locations that I just spoke of, the account saved variables and your realm and then character save variables, like this, there will be two files. There will be a file called iStableMaster.lua, and there will be a file called iStableMaster.lua.bug. There will be 4 files in total, one for your account and then one for your character. A set of these two, where if you delete those and install the add-on, then you are technically installing a fresh installation of the add-on. If you don't do this and you still just have 39R1 as the latest version of your add-on and it works for you, then the most you will see is the changes we did to fix some bugs in the database, where we neglected to update crane family to waterfowl, and we neglected to fix the fact that there is a dragon hawk listed as dragon haw without the K at the end. Those will be handled by a function in the game, or not in the game, but in the code, in the add-on code, and that will cause you to see a lot of errors the first time you load the add-on. Fear not, reload your add-on and set your filters and sorts again from the beginning, and it should be all fixed. The add-ons that I dump here in this frame, in the chat frame, they are handled errors. They are not unknown errors. They give you a description of what to do, and if you follow that, then you should be on your way. The add-on should fix itself if it's just errors that you see here. Other than that, I really, really hope you enjoyed the add-on, and I really, really hope that you were still here and lasted all the way through the developer update, so I don't sit here and make these updates for nothing. And I hope that you got the information that you felt was needed for this add-on, and that you will continue to use iStableMaster going forward. As always, if you have any issues, please report them in the issues on CurseForge, and then if you would be so kind to include the debug message as well. I will promise I will leave the command in the description of the video, but also be thorough, please. The more I have to go on, the better I can help you. And remember to assign the tag bug to your it's called to your report, and also assign one of the authors, preferably Mr. Exilian, so that we can actually get a notification whenever you get a bug report in. It has happened once that we've got a bug report that we didn't know until like a month later or something like that, or 14 days later, because this bug wasn't actually going out with the rest of the update information emails that we get from CurseForge. So I really hope that you will have as stable as an experience as I have, and if you don't, please leave us that report, as I said. Have a good one.